So for those who don't know who you are, just give us a bit of introduction about yourself and your background into film.
So I'm Radheya Jegatheva, and I'm a 19-year-old student at currently Curtin University, second year, and I'm doing a double degree of Bachelor in Arts and Commerce. And yeah, I've just love filmmaking. I guess how I got into it was like I really was interested in like the VFX and like the CGI kind of aspect of film, and that's how I kind of got into film. And then I started learning more about animation, and I guess started creating some of my own works.
So what kind of age are we talking about? In like 15, are you kind of doing all this? Or like getting into the special video effects?
Yeah, I think that's like bang on, like in year 10, 15 years old. And then I just started making my first animated film was Journey. And then later on, I kind of updated that with my own soundtrack and updated some of the visual elements. And then just some little smaller projects in between. And then Irony is my latest one.
Yeah. I mean, Irony is what that's brought your attention to me, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So I was going to ask you, is there a particular moment where you watched a film that kind of really got you into it? Like an animated film or anything like that in terms of inspiration?
Actually, yeah. Well, it wasn't like a big feature film. It was just on YouTube. There was this short film called There's a Man in the Woods. And it was done by, I think, a CalArts student. But basically, it was like a quite kind of cartoonish style, and except like it just blew me away. And it kind of made me realize that something doesn't have to be live action for it to really have an impact on you. And like I've always wanted to do like live action, like from a younger age. But then I just kind of got into animation because I think it was, I didn't have the resources first of all, and like so I guess I was able to do everything like individually, like just on my laptop rather than like a big budget crew and studio and things like that. But yeah, like I just really wanted to play around with using more, I guess, cartoonish visuals with juxtaposed against like a darker themes and subject matter. And
because I mean, I was going to later on ask you about the whole animation live action. Is that's definitely a benefit, having kind of all that creative control, and you don't have to kind of, I guess, rely on people in that sense? Is that kind of a benefit?
I guess in some instances it's a benefit, and just I guess being able to go at your own pace and express your creativity that way. But also, I mean, at the same time, working with other people is always a good thing as well, and being able to bounce ideas off each other. And so it sounds like that's maybe something in the future for sure then. Definitely. I think, well, I've gotten a little taste of that at Curtin already.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely want to try more of that in the future and see where that goes. Yeah.
And how did you get into doing the poems specifically? Was that a thing around 15, or was that, later on that come in and then you were like, oh, I think I could do this over the top with film?
Well, since like such a young age, I loved writing and poetry and things like that. And in year 12, I wrote this poem called 7 Billion, and I entered that in like a poetry festival. And I think out of 30,000 entries, it won like the Young Australian National Writers Award for Poetry. So I thought, okay, this kind of maybe is a little bit good. I could
just
maybe,
kind of maybe. Yeah.
But I could like maybe turn it into like a visual poem, because like there was like a lot of imagery that definitely like struck out to me like when I was writing it. And so I kind of had those images in my mind, and then from there I used it as like a base, and then just kept working on it as it went along.
Wow. Okay. I mean, 30,000, which is just ridiculous. Did they have like a top 5 or anything? Is it that brutal where it's just the top man?
I wasn't expecting it at all. That's like, I wasn't expecting a lot of like these, like just even being selected in film festivals was not something I expected. But it's interesting. And
obviously that went on to become Irony, I believe, correct?
Yeah. So like when I adapted it, I added a lot of new stuff, and like just it wasn't like planned out before. Like a lot of it was just like as I was going along, just things just jumped out, and then I just inserted it in as yeah.
Well, for those who don't know, who haven't seen it, what's it all about essentially?
So it's basically about the relationship between man and technology and social media in the modern world. And well, in terms of the name, like I did want it to be a bit like self-aware. Like this entire film was created on my laptop.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is all digital. I use social media, I use technology, but it was more focusing on, I guess, looking at it through a critical lens and like focusing on the overconsumption of technology and the ways that people use social media for harm rather than good. And it was like, I think my dad's snoring.
I just heard that.
Yeah.
I love it. Does he have like this afternoon naps?
Yeah.
This is. Please tell me I got that.
I hope you get this.
I hope
fixed
I
up. But I lost my train of thought. Yeah, that's it's just like I did want to make people at least contemplate on the way that they use social media and spread awareness about more serious things like cyberbullying and how that can lead to things like teen suicide, which is terrible. But yeah, it does cover a variety of topics relating to technology, and I just want to express that, I guess, more creatively through a visual poem.
And I guess obviously, do you have social media? Do you use it as much? Is that kind of an ironic question to ask, or do you?
So, well, I mean, I have social media, but I think it did definitely open my eyes to, like, I'm using it less than I used to. And the thing with, like, the validation parts of it, like, I used to be really, really insecure about that. Like, on Facebook, say if my photo didn't get as much likes as one of my older ones or something like that, I'd be like, oh, does that like represent my popularity? Yeah. And I'd feel like, I think those kind of things just really got to me. Like now, thankfully, I'm like not as
in a better place,
dependent on that validation. Yeah, if that makes sense. But I think I definitely wanted to channel that in the film. Yeah. In some aspects.
Because I think I've seen, if I've been like in a particularly down mood, and then you go to social media, see all these happy people, it's like the worst. It's like, oh God, why am I not as happy as those people? And then, I think it's all, so I've sort of like just put on newsfeed blocker and don't even check it and don't even look at Snapchat. I mean, are you on, how many, do you just use the Facebook? Are you on everything, or is it basically really down, you kind of cut it down since irony?
I'm on like, I think, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, but like I've noticed
very sparingly then.
Yeah, like, well, definitely Instagram, like I use it like so much less. And like, well, going back to that other point, like
comparing,
comparing like that culture of comparing ourselves to others online, and how like, well, we want to put our best representations of ourselves on social media. So when you see people who are happy, like I think that does play into it quite a bit. But I mean, like, even though irony obviously critiques social media a lot, like it allows, well, you contacted me on social media, like it's convenient, and we do communicate with other people, but I think just using it more sparingly, and just something you have to watch out for.
I guess that I like that it's very ironic that everything is I contacted you on social media. Everything that I'm using right now, technology wise, is to record this, and
this microphone's like being a pain, but that's technology's like revenge in me, I think.
Technology's revenge. And I mean, I particularly like that it's also called like an iPod, like an irony, and the little eyes there, all those little things.
I was initially actually like, well, I definitely knew I wanted to have that, I guess, self-aware aspect of it, but I was going to call it hypocrite, but then I realized I could, there was like a lot of levels of irony in the thing, and also the, I guess, that play with the little I, capital R, so I decided that irony would be a better fit, but
I thought, 7 billion people, irony. I think both are good, but irony. So it took roughly a year, I was reading. No. Or how long did this whole thing take?
I'd say more around like 6 months. Like it's hard to say, just because it was kind of on and off. Like I was working on it when I had time, and I kind of started working on it just after my exams, like at the start of levers. But basically, like I couldn't go on leave because I had to take care of my grandma.
Oh no.
Because they had some problems going on there. But then I guess I used that time to start working on the film, and then
Silver lining almost.
Yeah,
sort of?
exactly.
Yeah.
And then from there, I really wanted to get it done, so that I just like, literally whenever I had free time, or even just something during uni, I would just like be slowly working on it in my laptop. But
was there any point where you were like, oh my god, this is just getting way too out of hand in terms of the levels that I think my ambition is kind of too high for what I want to execute?
Definitely there's some there were a lot of different types of animation in it, but there are some frame by frame drawn aspects and those took so long. Like,
oh my god,
like you only appear for a few seconds in the film, and you wouldn't think like that at all. But it's just so time consuming. Like, it wasn't necessarily difficult, but just the amount of time it took, I was like, oh, this is hell. But
that's what I love so much, the little details. I mean, we always thinking it's that 1% that it doesn't matter, it's going to take 5 hours for a 2-second thing. I guess that's the level of effort that I really took from it, because there's this one little sequence where there was a teacher in the front of the class and she's teaching the children about the alphabet and based on the word QWERTY, right? And QWERTY. But at the very bottom is this little sign, today's Wi-Fi password is brainwash. And I was like those little gems, does that come you're late at night and you're thinking, oh, that's a good little idea, write that down, or in the moment, or sort of thing?
It's kind of just in the moment, just as I was constructing the scene, I was just okay, I have to make this classroom scene, just drawing the elements, and then it just kind of as I went along, just thought, okay, I didn't think anyone was gonna notice, because even on the Instagram, the phone, there are some comments and I just don't I didn't think people would kind of pick up on those, but I'm glad you did. I think it's just something that I just go along with during the creative process.
I was gonna say, do you kind of, before you do a final draft, you review everything, you're like, okay, where can I insert anything else, or does that kind of come into play at all, or you're just pretty happy with it and just want to be done?
I think on some shots I kind of went back, and there were a lot of shots that I started and then they never made it into the final film, and then looking back at it, there's stuff I want to I would have added if I could go back in time, but just it was kind of just all over the place. This is things literally just making it as I was going along and going back to things and adding stuff in and trying to. I was worried that it wasn't going to make it all work together, but
I mean, there wasn't really. Did you set yourself a personal deadline, or was it kind of as much as I can do?
I guess I just wanted to complete it.
Just to get it done.
I guess as soon as possible. I did it, I think, around my birthday. Before I turned 18. That's what that was my So I think I got pretty close, maybe a little bit over, but around May, around May 2000. I think around a year ago. Yeah.
Did you get the celebration on the birthday where you finished it and did you tell anyone? Was this a secret thing, or is it?
Well, I guess mainly my dad was involved in it, so just my family, and then she had a few friends, and I think it's interesting how different people of different ages react to the film.
Okay.
There's one I showed my friends. There's that painting scene where it's had who did this, and they're crying, laughing emojis. And they cracked up. And then when I showed my parents and my relatives who are in the 80s, they were
don't really
what? They didn't understand it at all. So I think it was interesting to see. But
did your parents react I feel they would have been typically, this is what I've been telling you all along, the social media,
Well, you'd think that, but my dad is the worst. He will share absolutely anything and everything. He posts too much, which is, I think that's, I guess, an interesting, a flip. Yeah. But,
and it hasn't changed his mind. He's still sharing, is it?
He's still very active. I mean, he's very good at promo, so I'm not complaining, but yeah.
That's true. That's true. And your friends, obviously, I guess, were they kind of why are you doing this subject matter? Everyone knows this, or were they happy about it? Sort of, they thought it was a cool, all these word plays and puns and stuff.
Well, in terms of like the wordplays and puns, like during high school, I always made puns and they'll just groan. And I think that really played into the wordplay and of the poem and stuff like that. So I guess I'm grateful for that.
Okay.
But I haven't shown actually like a lot of my friends. Like I've seen like the people
really?
who wanted to see it. Like I'm not gonna like, you know, just
like
I'm gonna send everyone my phone. Yeah, but,
everyone
like,
look at my shit.
Yeah. But like the people who asked for it, yeah, I sent them out, and well, they seem to have enjoyed it. So yeah, like
wow. I just feel like because I saw you in the news, surely that would have then raised your profile instantly.
Yeah, well, like, I have had like okay, so for like a little, I don't know how to. I guess like a CV, like a resume, like a portfolio. There you go, like online. So I had like a Wix website, and then like I had this option where you can like see how like when people go on, and then it just gives you notifications, and then like after the news thing, like there were like 200 people on your Wix. I was like, whoa, okay. But yeah, like I've had quite a few people asked for like, oh, where can we actually see this film? And I think someone got angry, like under the trailer online, someone was like, I spent 2 hours looking for like a link to this film, and then I was like,
hours.
And then he like insulted me, and I was like, oh, okay, yikes. But but yeah, I mean,
because is there a reason? I'm guessing it's because you're still screening it through film festivals, so you can't put it on YouTube publicly. Is that the reason why? Yeah,
so they kind of want it to be like exclusive, I guess.
Oh, right.
But yeah, so like there's no like public link to the film, but I send like when someone messages like the page asking for like a link, then I just send them like a private password protected
for a
link.
legitimate
to the film.
Is that maybe going to change? Like hopefully, because I just want to go. I feel like everyone should kind of at least see it in terms of the creativity that I really liked. Is that going to change maybe later on, or?
Yeah, I think once it has this like kind of festival run, then then I think it's allowed to be like put on publicly, like on YouTube or something. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Is it still running? How many? Because I've seen how many like 100 awards or something. This thing's just been blown up. How many festivals has it been through? It's just ridiculous.
Number keeps changing, but I think it's like so far like around 80 awards and like 160 selections or something. God. But yeah, it's still it's still going, so can't say for sure. But.
Yeah. Do you like have someone that's like managing this, or you just submitting it and by oh my god, all this hundreds.
My dad is like so helpful. Like he does like a lot. Like he helps so much with like the managing part of it and like the whole process. And like last year I was doing a lot of travel and he was like just a legend just in terms of like helping out with all of that stuff because it was just a night. Like there was when I was coming back from Prague to Australia, I had to come back and then leave like the very next day to a film festival in Taiwan. And at the airport we ran into a problem, like something was wrong, the ticket wasn't like,
oh no,
and I was like, if I miss this flight, like I'm gonna miss everything. And then he was on the phone for I think 2 hours. This was like midnight Australia, with an airline, and then he managed to get me a business business class seat on the way back.
You had economy first,
and then he managed to I was like, damn. So mad respect, but yeah, that's
the best agent you can ask for.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
and he's in the film, so better.
Since you raised him up, let's talk a little bit about his, because he does the narration essentially, and he also did the narration on 2 other short films that I watched. One of them called Tiger and the Children of War. Did he do both of them? Yes. So basically, the Tiger and Children of the War, those were, I think, just like mini projects. Like I submitted for specific film festivals, so I had to use a certain program like for those ones. Oh, okay.
But I mean, it was good to like, I guess, learn new programs and things.
Was that the first, were the first makings of short films just in general that you've been doing, or was there something? Journey was definitely.
Well, Journey was like the first, and then those were just kind of like, I guess, in between, just while I was studying, little projects. But with Irony, I actually was gonna I said, okay, I'll use you as like the temporary voice, and then until we find the actual one. But then when I heard it all together and like when I put it, like I guess a draft, I was like, okay, damn, like I'll use you as an actual.
Does that mean like I feel like did he really up his game? Was he offended and your dad was like, oh, he doesn't want to use my voice? What I'm gonna really have to bring my A game to this.
Well, like a lot of my like relatives and my mom, they were like, Radheya, we want to use your voice, and I was like, no way is that gonna happen. Like I think his voice is so much better, just especially for that sinister kind of like tone and mood.
Yeah.
Like originally I was thinking of like a female voice because it's supposed to be like a Siri type character, but then just looking at the darker subject matter, I thought male, I guess, a voice like his would.
Man, he had
suit it
such a
better.
menacing voice. It was like he's got a very deep voice. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people like afterwards, like they loved it, and I think he was quite happy about that. But his voice was the start. That just like it made the film.
So him sharing everything is just a plug for himself. I reckon. So, like,
Yeah, mate.
I mean, what's his background? He's not a voice actor. How did you think at all, like, to use his voice to begin with? To be like, oh man, my dad is so mean and it sounds so mean to me.
Well, like he loves my granddad and on my dad's side and my dad.
Yeah.
Like they've been involved like drama and like theater and stuff like that. And actually, well, this is going on a bit of a tangent, but
I like tangents.
Yeah, good. Because like the tiger.
Yes.
So basically, without that poem, I wouldn't be here today. Like my grandma and my granddad, they met because she was she had to audition for this like for a competition, and she did the tiger.
Use the tiger. Yeah.
And then from that, she won like a minor role in a bigger play, and my granddad was the star of that one.
And you met.
Yeah. And then my dad, he loves that type of stuff as well. I think it skipped my generation.
Yeah.
But I'm more behind the camera sort of things. But yeah, I mean,
I was wondering what the tiger, because I saw the video and it was something. You said something that was very relevant to your family or something along those lines.
That was And
I was like, oh my god, did someone die from a tiger being attacked? Oh, please God, no. Because that's insane. That's kind of cool. I like that. It's kind of fitting in that regards. Yeah.
I forgot what's good. Like this was
your dad menacing.
Oh, right.
Why did you want to use your dad?
I think it was. Well, I mean, just because I've used him before on those two little ones, and I think I just needed in my mind at the time a temporary voice. But I'm glad that he made it onto the final.
I mean, even going back to the beginning ones where you're like, "Yeah, sorry, mum, you don't make it. Don't make the cut." No, like, was it just because he was available? I guess, and
he likes to tell a lot of people like the auditioning process was like really rigorous, but yeah.
I mean, what does your brother think of it? Does he have wanted any part of it, or was he just happy for you, sort of thing?
I guess he's happy for me. Like just when I was making like a lot of projects, I just kind of like showed him little like shots and like, hey, what do you think of this? So he's kind of just like a little opinion that I kind of
bounce it off.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think he's.
What did he say?
Pretty cool with it. Yeah,
he's like, oh, it's not bothering me.
yeah. A lot of the times it's like that. Like Radheya, like I've like watched this like 10 times. Like stop. But like,
wow.
I think it's good just to have another opinion to comment on different things.
Do you have a person? Because I feel like it's always useful having like an editor or someone to maybe look at the work that you've finished and then give you feedback. Did you have that with just your dad, or was there someone else? Like before you submitted Irony, were you so stoked with it, you knew everyone was going to love it, or did you go through one final check?
I was actually like, I had no idea. It's because I was making the film, like I had no idea like if it was good at all or if it was like, so I was like,
you really had no idea,
worried.
like just even like the frames, like, oh man, this detail in the frame is amazing, people are gonna love this. Not even that kind of thinking, or
I feel like I was just kind of desensitized to as I was going along. So I was like completely in the dark. And then when I finished it, I was also worried that people weren't gonna get it, especially just because it's like Journey is wordless. There's like not a single. It's like anyone can understand it from any language, and it's like just I guess I don't know. I think it's a lot easier to understand. And then Irony, it's all in English, and it's just like a poem, and then it's also talking like a lot of like the wordplay and stuff. You have to like know how to use technology and social media to get some of the, like some of the aspects. And so I was just worried about how it was gonna, I guess, perform, and if people were gonna, I guess, get it. But so I did just show my brother and my parents and my family, and then I mean they seemed to like it. So then I just kind of started submitting to film festivals from there, and then once they got selected and started winning awards, that was kind of like the sign that okay,
this is something, something bigger.
Yeah,
because I mean, it is sort of targeted maybe towards the youngins in terms of all the references to social media, but I still feel like it was fairly universal and accessible. I mean, the fact that it's in English, sure, I guess only English audiences can kind of really appreciate it, but even just the visual standpoint, you see some pretty dark imageries, and I feel like you could get the point of it. But is there a goal next to keep going with poems in general? Is that sort of a, because I feel like you've so far done 3 of them.
Well, my next, I guess, projects that I have in mind aren't poems. Like one of them is like was a short story that I wrote in year 12.
Man, high school was like just the productive time. All these gems.
I'll just like keep going back to things I wrote before now. But yeah, like I don't know. It's that's like a sci-fi like.
Is this the thing where you don't want to reveal it, sort of thing? Like you couldn't keep it a secret? Is that why, or you're still sort of unsure how to explain it?
Well, yes, a bit. I guess it's still unsure, but it just. I think I'll have to do it in like another animation, just because if it was live action, just the budget would be like insane. Yeah. So, and then there's another one. Is like about it's about like Scrabble. I'm
immediately curious. It's about Scrabble. It's gonna be we can't use Scrabble. It's dark and
like both of them have like super dark endings.
Oh, Jesus!
Like maybe this is just like a recurring thing. Like I should probably like leave that theme. But
was your high school a happy time?
No, maybe like. High school was just such a good time that I need something to compensate for it.
I like that. Yeah.
But
good save.
Yeah, I'll see how it goes. Like I feel like I need to get something done like this year though, because I haven't like the Irony is my latest project, and I think I just need I like entering it like into film festivals like every year. Like the Journey was 2016, and then Irony was last year, and this year I've got nothing. So I need to I'll make something hopefully.
I mean, is that because, I mean, how much traveling have you been doing? Like, is that because of that kind of chews into the time, or just university in general and everything? Or you were like, I need a break from Irony, or like, I've worked so hard on this freaking thing?
I think, a mixture of all those. Like last year, I was traveling a lot, and then just also having to juggle uni as well. And then, I mean, I guess over the break, I should have been more productive, but I just kind of I just wanted a break. And then, but I do love creating, and I'll keep going at it. But whenever I have time. Yeah,
I mean, you're traveling. You told me before you're going to the States in 2 weeks' time or something like that.
Yeah, or maybe as early as next Sunday, but we'll see how the visa goes.
Yeah, and what are you planning? What's happening there? You're doing this sort of internship, I hear, right?
Yeah. It's at the Nokia Bell Labs Institute in New Jersey, and like it's called the Experiments in Arts and Technology thing. I wasn't like too sure about what exactly we'd be doing, but it seems like pretty like kind of independent type thing. Like like as long as you make something good, and I think I might like incorporate one of my next projects into that.
I was gonna say sounds like perfect timing to then smash out just like this.
Smash out a project and then just start just the whole cycle again.
Come to them. I've got this idea about Scrabble. Just their faces.
Oh man. I mean that would be a bit harder to I guess force a meeting into that, but we'll see. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm curious. How can you make Scrabble dark? I mean, I'm interested to see. To see. What kind of for those wanting to get into animation, is it very difficult? Is it kind of, I feel like it would be a very time-consuming process, but you do have benefits in terms of having that creative control and you can do everything that you want, sort of thing. Is that essentially what's happening, or is it kind of fast?
Well, well, there are a lot of different types of animation, but I think, well, I use like the main one I used to kind of composite it all together, and like was like After Effects. So then I that's my, it's like my soulmate. Yeah, exactly. Like I love that program so much. I think I just started learning it like from like when I was 15, and it just, because we didn't have any like film courses or anything in high school, which is a shame, but like it was just a matter of watching tutorials, and then the other half was just experimenting and just seeing what you can do with it and what works and what didn't. So I think that learning that, I guess, was a process that, you know, as you go along, you just learn more, and I'm still learning more like whenever I use it. And then other things like frame by frame animation was just like this. I knew I had to do it, and I had no idea, like I'd never done it before, so I just had to like try and like
that's okay. What's frame by frame, and for those who have no, is it kind of because I know a little bit about After Effects. What's frame by frame exactly? Is
it's just basically like
more specific.
Well, you know, like that traditional like animation, like where you draw like on paper,
draw a frame, like, draw another frame, and then put the motion. It's
just like that, except on your laptop and like a tablet.
Okay.
Thing. Yeah,
very cool.
It's just very, very time consuming. The one like animation, like because I've done like 3D and 2D and stuff. Haven't touched stop motion. I don't think he will, just because like that is a whole nother level. Like I have so much respect for stop motion animators, but yeah, well, maybe in the future we'll see.
I'm a fan of stop motion animation, because there are a couple of TV shows and movies that I'm like, oh my god, like even like I Love Dogs.
That was good. Oh,
yes. Wow. So I was watching that, and the first frame I was like, this is insane. This is just so much better than anything I've seen already. And I just can't imagine the amount of effort and time like to create all that.
Look at like the behind the scenes, like it was so like, I feel like it deserves so much more. Like it's not as like it's not getting as much love as it should.
I've been trying to pump it, because I really love Wes Anderson, and he did fantastic Mr. Fox. There's another stop motion animation. And like, I Love Dogs.
And like I think one of the the online interviews, just like as a little YouTube video, they stop motion animated that as well, and I was like,
they stopped. Oh really? And I have to see this.
Yeah, you should. It's just the amount of effort. It's just incredible.
There was like Kubo and the Two Strings as well. Which I heard was ridiculous. But yeah, okay. I'm interested to see you kind of branch out if you do stop motion. But are you thinking about live action as well in general? Definitely.
I haven't really had much experience with live action like at all. Like there was, I think in uni last semester, I did one unit where that was like, I guess my first experience just working with other people. But just before that, all my live action was like when I was probably like 13, 14, and I didn't have a camera. So I had my dad's MacBook Air, and was holding it and using the webcam as like camera. Just record. Oh, it was so bad.
Amazing. Is there footage still? I have to.
There was a film that I made, my brother and my neighbors, and it will never see the light of day. I think one of my friends found it, and then they started like sharing it with my other friends. I was like, no, I had to shut it down. Like my dad he uploads too much.
Dude, he really shares so much.
Exactly. So I shut that down quickly, thankfully, and hopefully no one will ever see it again.
Oh my god, what was it about? Just like your neighbors?
It was like a horror thing.
Oh wow.
And it was in this house like in, I think 2011, 2012. I guess it was a learning experience to never make anything like that ever again.
I just wanted to ask what your parents are thinking. I mean, they part of it? No, it was your dad? I mean, obviously they were aware of it. They were like, he's a kid.
Well, like in terms of...
I was making that short film. It was like, that must have been the sign from a parent's perspective. Oh, maybe he likes films. Or...
I'm not actually sure. Like, well, I mean, I thought my dad would be like cool to answer the questions, but I think he's sleeping at the moment. But like, I think...
Is he still sleeping?
Yeah.
There he is. No, he's listening.
So, I think they probably just saw it as like a little hobby or just something I was doing on the side, just, let him have his fun type thing.
Because, I do know that your dad was pushing you to go commerce. And how was that? It was like in terms of, was it like a very tense relationship? You're like, I really want film, or could you respect his decision, his desires and all that stuff?
I mean, I can definitely see where they're coming from, and like, I think the reason why they were particularly strict in that part was just because, they want my brother and I to, I guess, do well. And I think it's a shame that like arts is looked down upon.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, but like I guess I did go along with them in the first year, but then, you know, I really wanted to do screen arts at uni, so I managed to make a compromise and do a double degree. And yeah, I'm glad I can do both now. And so yeah,
well, that's good.
Yeah.
Because I saw that you beat an Oscar filmmaker. I don't know. I forgot. The short film. Do you know who was at the? What's his name? I forget.
The name. Okay, the name of the film was, I think it's called Pearl, and it was by.
But he was an Oscar winner.
Yeah, yeah.
And the point of it was that you beat him at the festival. And then your dad was like, all right. At this point, I was like, what hope is there for the rest of young kids? No, but...
I was, again, not expecting that at all. But I think, that was Journey. And I think at that point, he was like, okay, well, that was unexpected.
That
and
was
then
something.
maybe he was, you know, a little bit more into it then. But I'm just glad that he was able to see from a different perspective.
That's good.
Yeah.
And what about in
character
terms
development?
of the chances for this one to be going to the Oscars or anything like that? Because you said there was a chance that it could get nominated, I believe.
Yeah, so like it's been selected for 2 Academy Award qualifying festivals. So then like basically if it wins those, then it goes into the long list for the Academy Award for short film, animated short film, and then from there the short list, and then the final. Yeah, so there's a lot of levels it goes.
I didn't know how many
Yeah.
layers there are. Layers, and I guess does that depend on the festival that you're kind of trying to go for? Obviously, do some festivals are easier than others, or
I'm not like.
I should ask your dad because he's managing it.
Sorry. Yeah, like I guess it's probably just. Because it's an Academy Award qualifying festival, just like, no, probably difficult for all, like most of them. But I'm just glad that it's been just selected for
a festival.
Yeah, so I think that's more than enough for me. But like, if it goes past that, then that would be insane. But yeah,
I mean, like seeing like I guess Journey and getting that first award is probably the best feeling, and having that recognition. I mean, how do you kind of like? Do you have to keep yourself grounded in some ways with your friends, or do you just kind of feel naturally like I made this for myself and I'm glad that other people are really liking it, and I don't let the awards get to my head?
Probably like the latter. Like I definitely, like, again, I think it just didn't expect it to take off like as much as it did, and so I was just like, okay, well, I appreciate that, you know, it is getting shown in festivals around the world, and I think I'm just gonna keep creating what I like, just short films, and I guess seeing where it takes me. Yeah,
it takes you to Scrabble.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm very glad about like just the opportunities to travel. Like I definitely didn't think I'd be traveling that much.
How many countries have you been to since like what 10? I was reading, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, quite a few. Especially,
quite a lot.
Yeah, especially semester 2 wasn't great for uni, but it's good for more.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And you're going to. Because you're going to Pixar, I believe.
Yeah,
correct.
In December, I think. For like, well, that was another.
You won a competition. Yeah.
So that's like a 3 days behind the scenes trip, and I'm really excited for that.
Oh my lord! Is that like you meet other people as well in terms of like there's other short film finalists, or is it just you?
I think it's just me.
No, just you. Yeah. A private little.
Yeah, which is that. Like I entered that film festival because it was advertised like that was one of the prizes.
Right.
I'm so definitely I'm doing this, and hopefully, and yeah, when I got the call, I was just so happy.
Holy crap!
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it'll just be like I guess after second semester, just like my break, like being able to go there and.
Oh my lord! Do you get to go with anyone by any chance? Like, can you bring your family, or is it just go by yourself? Well, like, I mean, not like with on the tour, but like.
I think it's just like I think they can only just take me in. Okay. But I mean.
That's okay.
Yeah, I've got an aunt in California, so I can catch up with her as well afterwards, and
living the dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez. Yeah. I mean, is that like getting too far ahead, but is that the dream in terms of? Or I at least would like to work for an animation company, or would I like to just be able to make films? Because, I mean, Pixar's up there in terms of one of the best. I mean, I really like Studio Ghibli, but they're not around anymore. But is that kind of a potential kind of catalyst? Were you hoping to maybe go there one day, or still not thinking about it?
That like I'm like still, I guess, still thinking about like what specifically I want. Like I'm definitely wanting to do film, and like being able to work with Pixar would be like incredible. Like that would be amazing. But I think I would just kind of discover what, like I want to do like maybe directing, but like I don't know, would it be like live action or animation? So I think I'll just have to keep creating and see where that kind of takes me, I think, and just find myself.
So so artistic. So find myself through. Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, I think or maybe I'm just indecisive. Or probably both.
I mean, you're so young still. It's just incredible. I mean, that's like. Thank you for being. I guess I am young. No, but like, yeah, because it's in terms of the scope of how difficult it is for artists in terms of getting recognition and all that, and people twice your age having getting that level. So it's a little, it's a massive takeaway at least. And I mean, this is all about going to New Jersey is all about finding what you want to do and all that stuff. So I'm super excited to at least see. Definitely the Scrabble thing. I'm really keen. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about Scrabble?
Yeah, little teaser, and like I'm keeping you hooked, like that suspense.
Oh.
So yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Will it be a poem at least?
Can
you tell us that?
No, it's not a poem. It's like yeah, but maybe I'll think it. Like I haven't really thought about poems much, but like maybe now that you've like, put that back into like maybe I'll think about doing more.
What do you just in general? What do you read a lot, or do you watch a lot of movies? Like, do you kind of
used to read like a lot, and now like I don't read at all. I should read more, but I think like the only thing I read is like my readings for lectures, and like that's not exactly a glow up, but yeah. I mean like I guess I watch more films, but I've just got like a huge list that I need to like get around to.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah, just
was there? I was interested. Is there particular filmmakers that you really like, films or TV shows? Because like, there's another great Australian animated show, The Big Les Show. Have you heard of The Big Les? No.
Big Les? No.
No. Have you heard of Michael Cusack's animations and Damo and Darren and like those kind of?
Damo and Darren sounds familiar, but like I'm so uncultured.
Oh really?
But like I think in terms of like TV, okay, well, this is when I was like, it's been cancelled now, but like when I was like
Firefly. No, sorry.
But like when I was like a lot younger, there was a show called Primeval.
Yeah.
Okay. With dinosaurs, of course I loved it. But that was like it had like a lot of like VFX and CGI, and that was like one of the main reasons why I got interested in film. So. Definitely, I guess that is a big influence. But
not a Dragon Ball Z kind of guy either. Was that past?
Probably my brother. My brother's more into like anime, those kind of things. And I kind of like watched it when he was watching it. I'd be like, what's this?
Oh, okay.
But I guess in terms of the directors, I think James Wan. Like I really like his style and his movies, but also because he's kind of like he's like kind of made it, and he's like or that kind of Asian representation, like that's definitely something I look up to him in that respect.
Okay.
Kind of just like a glimmer of hope, but yeah. So I guess that's.
Does that sound like you want to go into horror then?
I like horror, and like I think like that's something I might wanna try out. I mean like. Anything would be an upgrade from that horror film I did like in 2011, but yeah, we'll see. I think, yeah.
The one with your neighbors you talking about?
Oh,
because that was yeah. I mean, I think horror is very hard to do. I mean, I don't get scared that easy, but like, if you can do it, and people hate horror because they don't like getting scared, but I don't know. I enjoy it in terms of that whole genre. There's like. Is there a particular genre that you don't like? Because I really don't like musicals. Like I can watch, I love La La Land, but maybe something like The Sound of Music, I'm just like, I don't want to watch that. Do you watch kind of everything then? Is there anything you?
I wouldn't say like there's a genre like I hate or despise,
not
but
even
like
not even the superhero ones that we have right now. Yeah.
Well, like, actually, like we have like a little group of people like from high school, and like every like time a Marvel movie comes out, we will all go watch it.
Yeah.
And that's and we have our little group chat called Suicide Squad.
Oh wow.
But, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We
You're a
stoop that
massive
low.
yeah. Okay.
But I think I didn't like hate genres, but I think I definitely gravitate towards like
Animation.
sci-fi and
okay.
like horror more, and like those kind of, I guess, genres. But I mean, I'm up for anything if it's good.
Will we
so.
see a happy thing in the future? Not,
Well-
or is it always going to be? Is there?
I'd hope so, but like, or in the Scramble one, it is like it's very happy, like all the way through. Like it plays with the genre, and then at the very end,
Oh
it's
shit!
like, tables turn. Oh yeah, like well, I love plot twists, and like so, well shows like
Okay.
Black Mirror and like Inside Number 9. Have you heard
Oh,
of that?
what's inside? I've
It's
heard of Black
so-
Mirror.
oh, yeah,
'cause
Black-
that's
yeah,
Black Mirror is
Mirror.
almost famous.
Yeah, yeah.
What's inside? Is that more
It's
unknown? Is
yeah,
it-
it's more like I think it's so underrated, but like every every episode like 30 minutes, but like the writing is so good, and like and it's like an anthology. Like everything
Okay.
is different.
like American horror. Oh, so every episode's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, but like same actors, so like yeah, American Horror
American
Story
Horror
kind
Story.
of and just the twists and it's
Twists
so
are
good.
real.
Yeah,
Like
And,
Sixth Sense twist level, or I'm interested now.
it's just very, it's like just mind blowing. Like
I shouldn't Google anything. Just watch it.
just watch it and yeah, experience it.
Holy
but
crap!
yeah, and like I think each like the location it's set in has to do with the number 9, so like could be like a house or like
Oh,
something
okay.
like that. Yeah, but it's so good.
It's
I think
not
that's one of my
like-
favorite TV shows.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
So-
glad you told me that because I watch a lot of terms of movies and TV shows. Because my favorite TV show right now is Nathan For You, and Rick and Morty is second. I was gonna say, do you like Rick and Morty? Just quite because that as an animated show, that's I think the best one that I've seen.
I need to get around to watching it. Like
Really?
I had so like it was like everyone is crazy about it, and like I think I've watched like on the plane there were like some like a few episodes, but they were like season I don't know they were in
Okay.
like so I didn't
Out of
really-
order, yeah.
yeah
that's
yeah
kind
so
of
like
yeah.
I was kind of just like plunged into it, but I think I'll definitely need to like actually well, there's so many TV shows like I need to watch Game of Thrones, like I haven't started that, and like oh I feel like
I feel like you missed the boat on that, but no, yeah, it's still yeah.
but like yeah there's a lot of things to catch up on, but yeah I'll when I have time I'll
So much, yeah,
Yeah.
so much to do. Yeah, it's a little time. So, do you plan on finishing the degree? That's definitely a thing where you want to, or you're open to maybe kind of getting an opportunity and going with that? Or
at the moment yeah I think finishing the degree I think I feel quite comfortable like in uni as a student, just because like you are expected to just I guess finish your partial units, and I guess I do have like other spare time to work on projects and
Yeah.
things, but like going out into the real world after that is a bit daunting, but I think hopefully I'll be able to I'll see where it goes basically.
yeah. But I like that you're going. So hopefully, a short film every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would there be
Yeah.
a feature film maybe definitely one day in the future?
Yeah,
Definitely.
hopefully. I think I'll slowly work towards that. But yeah, I think I just need to learn more, and I'll just keep going from there.
Cool. Your Facebook page, who's it being run by? Is it you, or is it, because I love the comments that I see on it. Is it a friend, or is it your sister? No, your brother?
I am my dad and I run the page. So like my dad, he'll
I should have known.
post like a lot of
Yeah.
like the selections and stuff like that, and then one of my friends, Abby, like I love her so much. She'll like this comment.
Because there was like this thing where she shared or reviewed the Journey short film, and she was like, "It was okay, I guess, but the guy who made it is studying commerce instead of film." And the response from Journey, the Facebook was like, "Wow, what a loser."
Yeah, that was me.
Is that?
It's just good, all good fun, just banter and nothing. It's just
Banter.
friends. Yeah,
That's
just,
good.
Just
Banter is real.
having fun. Yeah, but yeah, she's great, and like
Does she help out at all in terms of, or she get to see a lot, or she's just there to help you promote it? And
she's just like. She's just a really good friend. Like we went to high school together, and she's super good at art. Like she's an amazing artist.
oh, nice.
And well, she goes to like film festivals in Perth when it went there and just support. And I always appreciate that. So shout out to Abby Kendall.
Shout out to Abby.
Follow her Instagram on like.
Oh yeah.
I think it's
plug everything.
Shibashub or
Shimmy what?
Shibashub. I think that's her username.
Amazing.
Yes. So
Shibby. Do you allow people to follow you on Instagram, or is there like what's the best way for fans to contact if they want to just let you know, hey, you're doing good?
Then I mean, yeah, feel free to, I guess, on Instagram.
The Facebook pages.
Yeah, all the Facebook pages. Yeah. Chuck us a message, and yeah, I think.
Do you get to the point where you see a lot of comments and you have to restrain yourself from responding to that, and kind of like, because I think I was watching Childish Gambino's "This Is America," right? Yeah, I've seen, and
that's so good.
Everyone's seen it, and he was like, I don't want to explain what it means, sort of thing. And he just kind of ignores people's comments on it, and he doesn't have to look at it. He just puts it out there because it's art, and just lets people kind of interpret. Like, are you kind of happy in terms of that respect? Do you mind? Or do you like kind of responding to fans at this level of time?
Well, I wouldn't say I have fans, just because like.
But like that guy that commented on that, and what he gave you hate on the.
Yeah. Yes, I have haters, but no fans.
Sorry.
No, but like I'd say, I mean, like I'm just, I guess, happy for people to interpret it how they want, and like if people want to talk to me, then I'm more than happy to. Yeah, I love talking to people. not publicly, not like public speaking, but just talking.
When are we going to see a voiceover from you then? It has to change. Is that just thing, just everyone hates their voice sort of thing, and just
I mean, you'd think that, but I just my voice is genuinely bad. Like, sorry to everyone listening for
damn it,
but maybe when I'm my dad's age and my voice is deeper and like it's got that quality, but at the moment, I'll just stick to keeping my mouth shut.
I'm so interested in interviewing your dad one day, just getting that deepness there. Because I want people could see the trailer, I guess, and I think that his voice is in there. But yeah, I'll see if I can find footage of that. That menacing. Like, was there a point where you're like, oh man, you're being way too menacing, or you're like, that's pretty good?
Sometimes I kind of like, I did. Well, in the studio, like direct him to be like, okay, I want you to be menacing. Like sometimes it was like a little overdone. I was like, okay, you need to like dial it back a bit. But we got like an equilibrium at one point.
It was a good working relationship. It wasn't like frustrated, like 10 takes, what the hell?
I think I'd say it was pretty good. Just like we just had to kind of like get it done, and then we didn't have much time, but
cool.
It worked out in the end.
No, well, thank you so much for chatting. I've kind of nearly hit an hour, so I'm super appreciative of your time.
Super fast, and thank you so much for having me here.
Hey,
for this opportunity. Yeah, that's great.
No, like I said, man, I am super interested to see what's going to happen, and keep in touch. I guess on the Facebook page, and I hope the New Jersey thing goes well.
Thank you.
And I mean, I'm looking forward to Scrabble. I keep saying it, but man, what did I do? All right. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.